There was a huge ass battle.
That was crazy.
You forgot to eat your snack.
Yeah, I'm a fat ass. And I even forgot to eat my snacks while I was so mesmerized by that.
We were just zeroed in on the TV during the whole battle. Hey everybody! So we just saw Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 9, The Battle of the Bastards. Dang! So we only had two storylines going on.
Really, just one. That was
Yeah, for the most part.
of it. 90% of it was those bastards getting mad at each other.
Man, that was crazy. So let's talk about Daenerys first, and then we'll get into the meat of it. Daenerys. So, at the end of last episode, Daenerys came back. You saw her dragon flying in the background.
She was not pleased with Tyrion's. Yeah.
I like that. I sent him that meme. It had a picture of the handmaiden and the guy from the Sullied. And Daenerys is like, what happened? It was Tyrion. And then he's like, it was Tyrion. And you see Tyrion. It was Tyrion.
Damn.
Damn.
I have had too much wine. Damn.
But, so she basically says, well, I'm just going to
you think she was going to be a little pissed, but she wasn't as pissed as I thought she was going to be.
She was a bit nonchalant.
She was. She could have been more pissed if she wanted to be.
But she basically said, oh, no, now I'm just going to kill them all and then go and destroy their cities.
Yeah.
And Tyrion's like, whoa, hold on a second. We may not want to go that far. And then he brought up her father, saying... And he told the story of why... Because we never heard the story, really, of why Jaime Lannister took out her father.
Oh, he was the Mad King. It's in the books.
Right.
Yeah.
But we didn't hear...
He was a Mad King. He ruled horribly.
But that's all they said is Mad King and ruled horribly. We actually get a scenario where Tyrion says, look, he was going to go and destroy cities. He was going to destroy and kill and burn everyone alive, including his supporters.
You get a little more of that stuff in the book.
Yeah, well, I didn't.
Yeah, you don't really get that in the TV show.
So he had a moment where he's telling her all about this, and then convinces her to give them a chance to surrender.
Yeah, I really liked how you could definitely tell they're working together. They're on the same page. Even if they messed up a little bit, they move on.
Yeah, they seem to be thinking on the same way.
Yeah, they click well. I mean, she could have been pissed and sent him to his room and grounded him.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, she was surprised it hadn't happened earlier.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, you kept the city going this long. That's pretty admirable.
I mean, any leader is gonna mess up. Plus, they're in a pretty tough predicament too. Anyways, she was still kind of trying to handle that herself, with the other cities before she left.
Right.
So I mean, it's kind of like, he's kind of dealing with her shit while she was gone.
Right. Like, he had to take control.
So she probably was just like, yeah, I can see why this kind of happened.
I was kind of expecting it.
That's okay. I won't ground you.
No. But he convinces her to allow them to surrender instead of just killing them and their families and their cities and everything with the dragons.
Dragons.
So they wait up. Hold on.
Oh,
hold on.
God, you got me all excited.
I know.
You riled me up. You got me all excited.
I know. Wait.
Dragons.
But first, they gotta meet first. You gotta have the meeting.
Dragon.
So they meet outside the city with the three main leaders of the Masters.
Dragons.
With the battle still going on in the background.
Yeah.
And the Masters basically say, "You leave." Your two dragons and
that was badass. Dude.
The two dragons that are chained up, which they didn't know that Tyrion
there's always a shit talking
right, and she's
I'm more
just
powerful
standing
than
there
you.
calm
I'm more powerful than you.
Yeah,
they did the same things with the bastards.
Right,
know? They kind of do that same kind of shit talking, like who's the better shit talker.
Right, and the Masters lost.
They did
because the dragon showed up.
Whoa.
And she gets on the dragon and flies off.
Oh, those two dragons also those. That was Tyrion, like, released those in the second or third episode, like, really.
Right. And so they were just kind of stuck in the catacombs.
Were they just stuck down there? And
well,
finally...
obviously they never found the way out. But when the alpha dragon was flying by, and
has the alpha dragon been gone this whole time?
Yeah, he was with Daenerys.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
If he screams, they'll come.
So he did a call, and then they come busting through
so that
the wall.
That does make sense. They would come. Then.
They're like, oh, that way. Just go through that wall.
Yeah.
And then they all just took out this boat. Yes. And one of the things
I like. Oh, okay.
Oh, one of the things I like. So they're taking out the boat. They're like flame bombing this thing. And they do a wide shot, which looked awesome because the dragons are in midair just shooting fire everywhere. But you see the boats in the immediate vicinity, and you just see guys like jumping off the boat already. They're like, fuck this.
Oh, yeah, you have no chance.
Oh, man,
dude.
we're next.
No chance.
So they're not even getting hit yet, and they're like, nope. And they're just jumping off all the boats. So now she's got a bunch of boats.
So our patience kind of paid off with these dragons.
Yeah.
Like, we've been waiting for something. We've been whining about dragons this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And finally you have something. Like, you have some...
And it was good.
It was really good.
I was dragon happy.
Yeah.
One of the really small things that I noticed, when she climbs onto the back of the dragon, and he's got these, he's got the spikes on him, right? That she holds on to.
Yeah, they're kind of like fleshy, bony spikes.
Yeah, but they were webbed. They were webbed together, almost like mini wings, or like maybe a way of helping.
Sure.
With flying.
Sense the direction of how you.
Kind of like a rotor on an airplane.
Yeah, I bet you it's for sensory perception.
Right.
As well. Yeah.
But the look of it looked really good. Like it actually looked like flappy flesh. And she's holding on to two of the spikes. That's her holding place, I guess. But it looked awesome.
Yeah,
the dragons look so badass.
Dragons!
I was so happy. I love dragons. They're like big scaly cats. I just love them.
Oh, they're wild cats. They're like panthers.
Yeah, they're not like my cat.
No,
my cat would be a very lazy dragon.
He would.
He'd be like Pete's dragon. Can't fly, has really little wings. Just kind of eats and lounges around.
Yes. But
so she basically, then they go back to Tyrion and.
Oh wait, I wanted to say one thing with Grey Worm, the Unsullied guy. He finally. I mean, this whole time he talks about.
Yeah, no, that's the part that I'm getting to here.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought you were jumping to
no.
The
So
Greyjoys.
we come back to the top of the mountain. You see the dragons taking out the boats in the background, and Tyrion and the Unsullied Grey Worm.
No Tyrion.
Oh, yeah, Tyrion.
Oh, Tyrion. Okay,
Lannister.
Tyrion,
yeah,
my bad.
Tyrion and Grey Worm.
Yeah.
And
sorry, I'm sorry.
Grey Worm says to the soldiers behind the three masters, he's like, they will not stand up for you. Like, you will die for them, but they will not die for you. You can either die now or leave and go be with their families. Be with your families. And they basically just drop their weapons and run off and leave the three guys there by themselves. And Grey Worm says one of you has to die, according, Daenerys's rules, or what she says has to happen for you to be able to surrender. And then they give up one guy. They're like, take him, he's the lowest of the nobles. And then go ahead with what you were saying.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that finally Grey Worm defies his masters.
Mm-hmm.
Like this whole time, like I don't know how long, like 3 books, 3 seasons, 4 seasons, I don't know. He's always talking about how I can't do this, masters won't let me do this, I'm not allowed to do this whole time. And then Tyrion gives him a cup of wine, and he takes a sip, and he suddenly...
It only takes one.
It only takes one sip of wine to change your mind on perspective on things. So that was cool for him to stand up. That's very huge, especially for me after reading the books it felt a lot longer in the books, where he's always reserved and doesn't defy anyone, doesn't stand up for himself, just fights, does what people tells him to do. Finally, he's thinking for himself. That's huge.
Yeah, and he's totally on board with Daenerys.
Yeah.
He's like...
Oh, he was on board before,
I know, but he's like, she said you have to die, you're gonna die. Like, it superseded his brain on that, helped jumpstart him to that, pushing him in that direction, right?
Yeah, she was always kind of pushing him to think for himself.
And then, what I was thinking, though, so he walks up, that they had pushed the lower of the nobles. Take him, he's the lowest of the nobles. And I didn't think he would kill him. I thought he would kill the guy to the right, the one that was talking most of the shit, that actually pushed the other guy forward. But then the guy in the middle dropped to his knees, and Grey Worm just slit both of the other guys' throats at the same swipe. He's just like, sunk, sunk! And then they both died, and they left that one guy living. So he not only followed Daenerys's orders of killing one, he killed two. He left one alive. So he went above and beyond. Right?
Yeah, I guess he's thinking for himself.
Yeah, and then I do like the little thing of Tyrion walks by and he says, tell everybody, this is what happens when Daenerys shows up with her dragons. And what I like, he does this little... and then walks away. Like, he just taps him. He's like, I understand.
I don't even...
Okay. And then he walks past him.
That, but okay.
But, yeah, so now... then we had the next scene we get with them. They cut back to Snow and them, but we're going to cover their story in a minute. When they come back to Daenerys, then Theon and Yara are there.
Yeah, the Greyjoys are there. You were hoping that they'd help out with the battle, but this does seem a little quicker, where they don't have to spend so much money on a battle scene, maybe.
Yeah, well, just the dragons.
It's the dragons. That was probably at their expense right there.
But they did show up right after. Like, they were basically right there.
Yeah.
So I was close. I was within, like...
Yeah, you had it figured out, basically.
That they were right behind. They just didn't involve themselves in the battle.
Yeah.
But one of the things I didn't take in consideration, and I don't... as soon as the scene was over, I was like, how did I not, like, put that together? It's like 1 and 1 equals 2. When they're talking with each other, Yara and Daenerys are bonding over the fact that they're both female. They're both female leaders. They both had bad fathers.
That's how she was convincing them, yeah.
Yeah, and that her uncle is going to come over. She's like, well, why don't I just go with your uncle? And he's like, well, because he wants to give you his big cock. Those are his words. And that a marriage would be required. And Yara's like, of course, I'm not opposed to that, but... But I like the fact that they were on the same page.
Yeah, they were already bonding right in that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were on the same page. They were already bonding right in that same scene.
You didn't...
They have the same... Well, they did tell her she can't rape and pillage any...
Right. They have to change their way of life.
Which is kind of big, because that's how they made
That's going to be hard for her to do, but if she can show her people, hey, we get our kingdom back.
Yeah.
And...
Well, it's kind of like...
We can't go up against her.
Daenerys was telling the same thing to the Dothraki, that they shouldn't be raping and...
Yeah.
They shouldn't be so barbaric. It's like the same kind of people.
She is, yeah, she did kind of... She's pushing them in the right direction.
And some more civility.
Right.
Instead of barbarism.
Right.
Yeah.
So they agreed to it. I guess you didn't need Yara to come in and fight to create that bond, because they did in that one scene exactly what I
think it would just
needed.
You wanted like the heroism.
I did. I wanted the, hey, you came and helped us, I want to help you now.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I would have thought that would happen too.
But they still bonded as quickly as I thought the fighting would do. So
yeah, they have the same interests in mind. So.
Right. So now Daenerys has enough ships that next episode, final episode,
Tyrion-
she can go across.
Tyrion, yeah, Tyrion said it barely.
Barely.
So.
Barely is enough.
They has not only do they have the Unsullied, they have the Dothraki now, 100 ships.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know.
If
I don't know what the math is. Maybe 15,000 men.
Well, if you need to, you can always do a second trip to get everybody else. But get the majority of your troops across.
Yeah, that's
once,
like you're wasting.
Set up a beach.
Yeah, you're wasting weeks though.
Mm-hmm.
And then the people from King's Landing will show up and take out some of your army.
Well, I mean, you can start moving forward, but
really
go back and get everybody else too.
You really want to do it in one fell swoop.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you do. But at least we know, and we called
so
it.
they might lead to. I think that Tyrion said, yeah, just barely. I think he said that because Varys is still gone.
Right.
I think that line was because of Varys is still out getting friends and shit. So.
Right. Friends and shit.
Yeah.
If you have seen our last video, that's a very funny inside joke for those. We're not going to explain it because it's only for our inside joke friends.
Varys is getting friends and shit. So. Maybe some ships are in that shed. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. But in our first video, when we were talking about what we wanted to see for this whole season, we had called it that she would be going to Westeros.
Oh yeah, we said that we wanted her we wanted her to at least cross what's that?
The Narrow Sea.
The Narrow Sea, and step foot on Westeros.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted to see. So she's pretty close.
We're going to get that.
Probably. I think so as well. Next episode.
What I'm hoping they'll do is they'll start out the episode with them leaving on the boats, and then you end the episode with her stepping on the land.
Yeah, you could do something as simple as that. Yeah.
Yeah. Have her travel time be Jon Snow's story and all of the other stories in between.
Wrapping up that way. I don't know.
The rest of the season.
Kind of seems... Or yeah, I don't know what else. I mean, I guess we'll talk about that later, but yeah.
So then we've got the other half of this episode.
Or 2/3 or 75%. Man, that was intense.
It was crazy.
That was intense.
So... The Battle of the Bastards. Jon Snow meets up with, in their first encounter, you have...
The shit talk.
Yeah, the shit talk moment.
Yeah.
Snow and Sansa with some of their, higher up lieutenants on both sides meet with Bolton and his high lieutenants, and they do their little shit talking.
Yep.
And Snow says, hey... Why don't we solve this the old way?
You suck, man. I'm going to totally fight you. You suck.
He's like, let's settle this the old way, man versus man.
Oh, yeah, he knows he couldn't fight him.
Right. And then Bolton's like, hey, I have more men than you. I know what you're doing. I hear that you are one of the best.
They're both trying to provoke each other.
Right.
And Bolton actually wins at that in the end.
Right.
Provoking-wise.
But he does make Bolton angry.
He does.
By pointing out, how are your men going to feel now that you didn't want to stand up for them?
He ultimately provoked Jon Snow to rush him first.
Yeah, in the end he did. Yeah. So
they're both trying to provoke each other. That's
the whole point of those meetings is to provoke each other. But then I
think Ramsay has a little more practice with that.
Oh no, he's a huge manipulator.
He is.
Snow reacts more to emotion.
Snow's a good guy. He doesn't really think like that. He doesn't have much practice in that. And Ramsay, that's probably all he thinks about.
Oh yeah, his whole existence is just to mess with people.
Yeah.
Mentally mess with people.
Yeah.
And torture them physically.
He's constantly just thinking of ways to fuck with people.
Yeah, like he doesn't want to just kill you. Snow would just kill you.
No, and he's proved that since Theon, dude.
Yeah.
He just wants to fuck with people.
Oh man, and that's what he enjoys doing. So they had one of the things I liked about this show that you don't get with a lot of movies that have battle scenes is they don't talk about the strategy of what they're planning to do. They just skip straight to the battle, and then there's a bunch of chaos. You don't really know what strategy is going on, and then the battle's over.
No, you sometimes have a meeting.
Yeah. But what I like is they talked over the map. They explained what their strategy was going to be, that they basically wanted to Bolton towards him, so that they had like a 300 moment where they weren't able to be flanked from the sides, because they're the smaller army, so they need to avoid getting flanked.
I like Tormund. He's like Tormund the Wild Thing. He's like, oh, don't you just rush? That's the plan. You just fight.
Well, Snow.
He didn't understand what flanking was.
Well, Tormund said
he has no strategy.
So what are we gonna do? And Snow said, well, we're gonna put him in a pensive move. And Tormund's like,
he has no strategy. He's just a fight.
And he goes,
fight him.
So they don't hit us from the outside or from the sides. He's like, that would be good.
He has no strategy.
He has no strategy.
He's just fight.
He's just like, point me in the right direction.
Just get me out there, dude. Let's just fight this.
But they were talking about why they were doing what they were doing and how they were doing the strategies. But then Sansa brought up a good point when she was with Snow alone. And she's saying, look, you don't know Bolton. He wants to mess with people. Our brother is probably not going to survive because he's the only true rightful heir of the Stark house. He's going to mess with us. You don't understand him. And Snow didn't quite get that until they went to the battlefield.
Yeah, I mean, he
learned it the hard way.
Yeah.
So we end up...
There's really no time to really...
No.
The problem with this is there was no time.
No.
It's all fast. You're going to mess up somehow.
So they get to the battlefield, and Snow's army is lined up just the way that he wanted them to be for his strategy, and he's got to find a way of goading Bolton to him. But then Bolton pulls out the brother.
Yeah, I mean, he really had the upper hand with his brother, yeah.
And played a game, which is what Bolton does. And
he's
said,
just a
hey,
torturer.
Run to your brother. The faster you get to him, the sooner you get to see him. And basically played bow and arrow and used him as target practice just to mess with him. Until he almost reached Snow, who was running towards him with the horse. They meet about halfway. And then the brother dies. Bolton hits him.
Poor Rickon. His only purpose in this was to die right then. Right. He has done pretty much nothing else this whole time. Yeah. He's really just has been a character that's been there in the background, in the books as well. Like he's always, people just maybe mention him, and he's near them.
Yeah, basically
he barely talks.
He's the character you're just waiting to die.
He was just this whole time. He was supposed to die on that battlefield right then, I think. Mm-hmm. He was just leverage for Bolton this whole time. Right.
And then Snow acted emotionally and ordered a charge.
Yes.
So they all get into the battle.
Oh, man, what a great... Oh, my gosh. That charge where it's so brutal and fast. I don't think I've seen anything like that. Brutal. No. So brutal and fast. I mean, he could barely... knew what was going on next to him. Right. Like he could barely tell how to react. He couldn't even react.
No, he was basically just lucky.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was
so intense.
Like you're seeing it. It reminded me of the beach scene for Saving Private Ryan. So much chaos going on.
Yeah, it was just chaos.
And you really are just reacting to what stuff.
But this was so intense within a charge, like a medieval... I don't think I've ever seen like a medieval scene with a charge,
like inside the battle,
inside on the ground,
right?
And it's so intense. It's they're not like, on guard, fight very very appropriately, and we fight each other. Or it's not. It's like
well, and like say even Braveheart, they have the scene where they meet with each other and they collide. But then after that, they're all spread out and they're just fighting each other.
Basically. Yeah.
So, but in this, it's more of they're really tight in with each other, and the bodies are lining up and they're piling.
Yeah, nobody's spreading them out. No one's spreading them out.
You watch the end of a battle in Braveheart, and everybody's got their own little plot of land. They're all spread out.
It makes sense. Bodies would pile up like that.
Now, in the behind the scenes on this episode, they talked about. That they used references from the Civil War. how they had so many
Those
people
were huge.
that the bodies were piling up, and
Yeah,
they ended up being like
those battles were huge. Like tens of thousands of people would die in a battle.
right, and they died like in piles. They didn't
I'm
just.
sure they did.
So then it ends up becoming a problem where you have to climb over the bodies to get to.
Man, Snow almost died again. I was like, are they going to die and revive him again? Because
Right.
he almost died.
Yeah, he almost suffocated
You could
because
probably-
the bodies
I
were
bet you-
falling on him.
People died just from suffocation. Even.
Right, from just the pile of bodies.
Suffocation of bodies.
It was pretty crazy. It was.
Oh man, it was so intense.
It was one of the craziest, most intense medieval
They got
battles
really.
I've ever
They
seen.
they got really creative with that. They didn't just like, oh, let's just do a battle. Let's just have them fight, and we'll have the arrows flying, and people are stabbing and.
No,
fighting.
they were really
They
planned out.
They planned out. They really wanted to do something different.
Right, and they did.
And they made it very different.
And then,
Except for maybe the Karstarks coming at the last minute. It was very.
well,
You knew that was coming.
right before that, though, you had the regular Bolton soldiers come in and they surround all of Snow's army, and they do the Roman thing where they have the shields down, and then the guys behind the shield holders have the spears, and then they take a step forward and stab. Take a step
Yeah,
forward
that was
and
very.
stab.
That was very Roman. Yeah.
Yeah, very Roman. Basically, just to box them in, and they had the huge pile of bodies behind them, and then the soldiers all around them. And the only way out, basically, was to go over the bodies. Everybody's getting crammed together. And then you had the...
I think you still had a fight going on the other side of the bodies too. They couldn't really get up over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still had people fighting over there. Tormund had seen some of the the Bolton's people coming over the bodies, and so he rushed that way to go and.
Well, he tried to go through the.
Yeah,
first,
he tried to go through
like the giant did. Yeah.
Yeah, but eventually saw, well, we need to go the other way.
Yeah.
And then they were all saved in a Gandalf Two Towers moment.
Yeah.
Of basically, I was almost expecting Littlefinger to have a staff and come over a hill with the sun rising and the army coming down, but they didn't do that per se, but they did. It basically
they
was
did
that.
hold out to the last second.
Right.
Oh yeah, the Karstarks are here.
Yeah, or well, I think they did that like 3 times in Lord of the Rings.
All
It
right,
was like every movie had one of those moments.
I think every movie has some kind of
but the
moment like that.
So Littlefinger's army, the cousin's army, comes in, the cavalry, and basically takes out the Bolton's army. And Bolton bolts.
Whoa! Fantastic.
He bolts back to the Winterfell and locks the door. And then the giant has his moment.
Snow, the giant, and Tormund were on him.
They chased.
And
they were there.
Snow all grimy and bloody. He was, he looked like a mad beast. He was gonna tear him apart.
But he thought, Bolton said, we have Winterfell, we can just outlast them. They didn't take into account that the giant was going to come through the door. So the giant comes through the door.
He didn't see the giant. He's kind of dumb.
Yeah, he is. But he's covered in arrows. Poor giant. This dude.
Yeah, too bad he died.
Yeah, he got killed. But he lasted a long time.
Yeah, there was plenty of arrows in him.
I mean, he looked like Pinhead. He had so many arrows in him. Pin body. And then Snow started just beating the living shit out of him.
Oh man, I thought he was gonna. I thought they were gonna move the frame up and his face was gonna be like smashed. He was punching him so much.
But then he saw.
That's cool. That's cool. He held out for Sansa there.
Right. So he saw Sansa and he stopped and he said, or didn't say anything, but basically it was. He didn't say anything, but it's basically like, no, Sansa. This is Sansa's. She gets to do with him what she wants. Now, you were saying,
yeah, I wanted an actual literal physical revenge from Sansa, because she's growing as a character. She's not this dainty woman anymore. You know, she doesn't take shit from anybody now. And that would have been like a cool physical symbolism of her punching him or stabbing him.
Or cutting his throat.
Cutting his throat or something where she, you know her character is turned completely.
And I can see that she takes, like, revenge physically herself.
Because her old character is a passive character. And
Right.
that's like a passive act is what happened.
Right.
Even though I love the scene. The scene is great. They did a good job. Yeah, but I think I would have liked a more aggressive Sansa than a passive Sansa.
Now, me personally, I prefer the dogs. And I'll say it's because he's been using the dogs as intimidation through the whole thing. He uses them all the time. And,
live by the sword, die by the sword.
Right. And Sansa is basically turning what he used to intimidate everybody else against him. And he's like, they're not going to turn on me. They're loyal to me. And she's like, you haven't fed them in 7 days. And then the dogs basically tear him to pieces, which I loved. But it also reminded me, and I had mentioned this, if you have seen the movie Hannibal, which is a sequel to Silence of the Lambs, has Hannibal Lecter in it. It takes place late afterwards. After he escaped. He's in France and everything. Well, one of his survivors, who's played by Gary Oldman, he's like horribly disfigured from surviving Hannibal Lecter because his face basically got ripped asunder. But he raised these Russian boars to attack people when you play a certain song. And so he's been raising these boars to kill
What is that?
Hannibal Lecter.
Is that Pavlov's dog? What is that?
Yeah, it's basically an animal training. You're training the animal to be violent when it hears a cue of some kind.
That's Pavlov's dog, right?
Right, Pavlov's dog. Basically a whistle, but for this one it was playing a song, and I can't remember the song. But at the end, when he finally captures Hannibal Lecter, the boars aren't doing anything, and it's because, or he hasn't played the music yet. But it all gets turned around, and basically Gary Oldman's character gets dumped in there. The music gets turned on, and the boars turn on him and eat him up. So it was like
what's that movie
it
with?
Backfired.
What's that movie with Wilfred with all the rats?
Yeah.
What is
has
that?
Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover.
And yeah,
they never turn on him though.
No, that was kind of a dark Pied Piper.
Yeah, that was like a dark Pied Piper. They never turned on him.
No.
Yeah.
But he
Man,
did use them.
I just thought of that movie. I don't know.
No, but that
that
makes a lot of sense too. It's the same kind of thing, but it wasn't a Pavlov's dog. That was more of like mind control.
Yeah, it's like almost like Ant-Man.
Yeah, like Ant-Man. Yeah. Only Rat-Man.
Well, all this Rat-Man.
Rat-Man.
What was it? Was it Willard or Wilfred or?
It was Willard.
Yeah, Willard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're
That was a long time ago. Was that 15 years ago? 20 years ago?
Oh yeah, and like made no money. It was like I don't even remember if it was good.
No one's gonna know the reference.
No, sorry guys. I've seen too many movies.
Go watch the Crispin Glover movie called Willard.
I mean, it's kind of cool.
It's a good movie. I liked that movie.
I mean, I don't know if it was amazing, but it was definitely a cool. It's like a cool, weird '90s movie.
It was. It was a cool, weird,
random '90s movie. I don't know how it got made.
Anything Crispin Glover does is going to have.
And
some
he
kind
wasn't
of
in that many things, and that's one of his.
Mm-mm.
That's a movie where he was like a main character.
Yeah, after...
Now that we keep rambling on about this movie, you don't know what it is.
I mean, after Back to the Future, he kind of got a big head, and then got...
yeah, he didn't get in the second Back to the Future because he wanted
too much money. But then, he calmed down, and he had some cool stuff.
Yeah, I think he kind of got the shaft, though, on scripts, because he didn't do the...
Well, after the...
He didn't have quite the career I thought he would have had.
Well, after turning down Back to the Future 2...
Why are we still talking about this?
He got a stigma of everybody thinks he's just going to ask for too much money.
He didn't have the career of a talented actor like him.
Anyway, go watch Willard.
Go watch Willard. And we're trying to think of all these animal, sicking... animal
but
control
basically...
movies. Hannibal, Willard, Ant-Man.
There's a bunch of them.
Pied Piper.
There's even episodes in like Smallville where the guy controls bees.
Yeah, there's
Like
always
there's you
always
can find them. X-Files probably has one.
oh, they probably have like 10 of those
Yeah.
episodes. Yeah.
But anyway, so the dogs eat up Bolton. It was very satisfying to see him die finally. And that was where we ended the episode. So that means next episode.
Well, I like that they showed the Stark flag with the direwolf.
Yeah, that they
Was-
rehung the flags.
Yeah, that's cool because that hasn't happened in 5 seasons.
Right.
Since the beginning.
Yeah. So it was satisfying to see the
Wow,
flag
that's
waved.
cool. Yeah.
Oh, and one of the things I noticed, I don't know why it took me this long to notice it, but I guess I just wasn't really paying attention to the flags that much. But when
Oh,
they
the
were
Bolton flag.
when they were on
Yeah.
the battle scene,
The Bolton flag.
there
was
were
demented.
there were a bunch of crosses that were on fire, and then they did a close up, and you see there's a human crucified upside down, and that they lit on fire, and that was all over the battlefield. And if you look at the Bolton's flag, it's a guy being crucified upside down, and it's in red as if it was on fire.
Yeah.
That is a very dark flag to have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not like having a lion
No,
or a
it's
dire wolf
usually-
head or just a fist
Well,
or
it's-
something.
I don't know if they do it so much in the TV show, but in the books, they always teach the kids what flag is what flag. I don't know
Right.
if you remember that in the first episode. They're
Yeah, it's the different houses.
Teaching Bran the houses. He was impatient. He didn't want to know. He
Right.
didn't care. But so they do all of that all this time, and then you have the super fucked up flag of the
Yeah,
Boltons.
it's crazy.
I'm sure that's Ramsay's doing. I don't think his father had.
No, I think
like
that was just his battle
that
flag.
was
That's not the house
Ramsay's
flag.
doing it. That wasn't a Bolton flag. I don't.
No, but an
was
upside down
Ramsay's
crucified burning body as your battle flag. That's crazy. It's like Vlad the Impaler
It
stuff
is.
going. It's like
Yeah.
vampire crap.
That is.
Oh.
All these other flags that are just like birds, lions,
A crucified upside down burning
crucified,
body.
demented, decapitated, fucked up shit.
Oh, jeez. That's a crazy flag to have. Your house must be very nice.
You guys are probably nice people.
Yeah. So next episode, we're going to it's the finale. It's the season finale. We're probably going to have Cersei's going to
Oh,
court.
you have to have Cersei's court.
Yeah, Cersei's going to court, and
Yeah.
she's going to reveal whatever information the birds got,
Yes.
so
The
that
dirt
she
on
can
the high sparrow.
right, and then hopefully maybe take out the sparrows. Maybe it's bad enough that they
Oh, that's
revolt.
probably what happens. Yeah.
hopefully. I want to see the Mountain take out some more guys.
There's more violence to come, probably.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and then I want to see Sam get
I
to the
choose
Citadel.
violence. I don't know about you.
I choose violence too. That's a reference to last episode. And then I want to see Sam get to the Citadel.
Sam should get to the Citadel.
Bran should get to the Black
You want
Tower.
Bran to get to the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get back to the wall.
And you want White Walkers, but who knows if that's going to happen.
Well, the White Walkers are probably going to be right behind Bran.
You
So
think
he
so?
gets to the wall, he gets there, and he's like, dude, they're
Who
coming.
knows?
And they look, and they're like,
they've
oh
been
crap, there
coming-
they are.
They've been coming all season, dude.
But I'm hoping next season is basically going to be concentrated on Daenerys taking over the
Daenerys
Seven
taking over
Kingdoms
his kingdom.
and then dealing with the White Walkers.
Yeah.
So
You probably won't have White Walkers then.
we want Bran. I don't think we're going to see any more area.
It's probably going to be mostly Daenerys and Cersei this next episode. Daenerys traveling, Cersei's court, Sam at the Citadel, Bran maybe getting to the wall. But I want White Walkers in there. I don't know
Well,
about
I
you.
think Snow and them are like Sansa's going to stay at Winterfell, and then Snow and them are going to head back to Black Tower,
the Castle Black.
Castle Black.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to head back to Castle
The
Black.
Dark Tower?
Dark-
With Roland
Stephen King.
Deshay? Roland Deshay?
No. So, but maybe Snow ends up back at or Castle Black and meets Bran.
Yeah. That would be cool.
And then Daenerys beaching on Winterfell.
Daenerys leaving and hopefully getting to Westeros.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
We think Arya's story is concluded.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to touch on Arya
Maybe
again.
she's traveling. Maybe I think she's.
I don't think they're going to. They don't.
They don't.
I mean,
have
how long is the finale? Is the finale a normal
They
hour,
don't-
or is it going to be longer?
They could make it
An
a
hour and a
finale,
half or
hour
something?
and a half if they wanted.
2
It's
hour
HBO.
finale?
I mean,
Yeah.
they really have no time cap,
No.
so they can make. I've seen it like an hour and 15 before.
Right.
So, I mean, you don't need Arya in there.
No, her story is over.
You
for
want
this
to
season,
see
at
her,
least.
but
You may not see her again until the
next season, yeah.
because
But it'd
they
be cool to
finished.
see her
They finished
traveling.
her. They finished her story with the no names.
It would be cool to see her traveling or something.
Right. Maybe get an idea of where she's heading. I don't know.
Well, she's Winterfell, hopefully, right?
Yeah, maybe she shows up at Winterfell and Sansa's like, "What's up?
What up, sis?" Oh, wait, actually, they hate each other.
No,
Actually, they'll
I
probably
think they would like each other now.
now that their characters have matured,
Yeah.
they'll probably, they'll probably be more mature and.
Yeah.
Like-
Arya would be like, "Oh, you're a leader now."
Oh,
She's
you're
like,
now.
"Yeah." "Oh, you're a badass now." "Oh, okay."
Okay, we're both badasses.
We're both
now.
badasses,
We
that's
don't
great.
have to be little whiny brats. Yeah, that's true. Their characters have grown. So when those two meet, they'll probably have a dialogue we haven't seen before.
Right.
Like, hey, sis.
But I don't think they'll touch on it until next season.
Yeah.
If they do at all.
Yeah.
All right. So, any other thoughts for this episode or the upcoming finale?
I don't think so. I think that we covered everything.
Awesome. Well, everybody, comment below and let me know what you guys thought of the episode. Also, you can check out my Patreon.
It's up here, isn't it?
Nope.
Oh, it's down there?
Is it going to be here?
Where is your stuff?
I'll put it there.
Right here?
Up there. Oh, there. There you go. Right there.
Oh!
You can support us on Patreon. Also, that link for that and my Facebook and Twitter are in the description
It's over
below.
here?
Below.
It's
Below.
Oh,
Below.
okay.
In the description.
All these directions. Dude.
I know. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. And we'll see you next week on the last episode.